Good morning. It's Harvey Jackson from McSee Gray Marketing. Today I'll just do a quick run through with a little bit of the markets and a little bit of the weather and some chart analysis as well. Wheat is down pretty hard today. Matif is down and pulling the North America complex down. Palm oil up a little wee bit, but some of the other oil seeds are not reacting to follow the palm oil. First off, yesterday the drought monitor got released, and even less drought in a lot of the growing regions. So as you can see, there's very little areas that are actually considered drought anymore. Major growing regions in soybeans and corn, definitely over here, and I can maybe show that's in another video some other time here. But yeah, there is no weather issues at all. What I would say is actually uh, that it's actually probably some of the best growing conditions we've seen in some time. Percent of average rain precipitation in the last 30 days. And I'm just trying to show you a different view of some of these different maps. And there's areas where we got 200% of average precipitation in the prairie provinces here. And what I'll do is just go through some of the individual provinces here as well. Seeding progress. There's not a whole lot that's actually in a huge delay anywhere, but there is some pockets, and I'm sure this next week we'll probably see even more progress, even though there's been some rainfalls that's been delaying things. So, similar to the weather, just covering cropland soil moisture, and the soil moisture is in surplus only in a couple of pockets, but it's actually there is no shortage to speak of. If we look back at previous maps at this kind of timeline in previous years or the last few years, we have seen a lot of drought, and there's very little drought on this map. Here's accumulated precipitation for the growing season, basically. And there's been a fair bit of rain in Manitoba, but soil moisture is in a lot of cases actually on the wet side to too wet. So there is no issue with any. If we get some heat here, we'll probably we'll be able to withstand probably quite a few days of heat. Here's your Alberta moisture map, and sorry, there's a little bit more detail in there, but sufficient to access probably in a lot of areas. But there is no drought down here that I can see right at this point. Seeding progress, and this is a little bit dated. They'll be releasing this later on today, but maybe I'll maybe quickly show that in a report next week. So canola, here's some of the indicators that I'm looking at is the RSI, stochastics, and we are at the bottom and sitting right in that 50 percentile of where the market is traded just currently. Like to stay above that, but we'll have to see if that's going to sustain. November canola. Here's your August rapeseed. We broke that support and now going sideways here. And soybean oil or soybeans itself, we're in the lower percentiles, trading in that in the same similar kind of timeline, below the 50% of its trading range at the 23.6, which is an important one to probably get above. If it were to get above, that would be probably a positive sign for soybeans. But as you saw earlier that on the map, there is lots of good soil moisture, maybe to the excess. I guess if there's some delayed planting, that could actually maybe make the market move here a little bit. Soybean oil, and again, it's in the lower side of where the market is trading in the last 6 months kind of timeline. And this 44.6 is pretty important line to trade above in my eyes, as it's a support line from farther back in time. Wheat. The wheat story it has been on a bit of a slide here. The good weather that we've had is probably indicative of that in planting progress, and that's pushed this market downwards. Milling wheat, actually, this is maybe something to take note of. The market right here, we gapped on the Paris wheat. Now, if that's actually going to be something that's going to continue, but it's never good to have a gap. But at the same point, the gaps do get filled eventually. I've seen it where it's taken a long time, but hopefully that is not a indication of what's to come. And that's about it. So hopefully you have a good weekend, and we'll chat with you next week.